Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Lofty NScaler. I am Curtis, aka the Lofty NScaler, and if you're new to the channel, you're probably wondering why am I called the Lofty NScaler. Well, it's because I have a small house and the only place that I could possibly build my layout at the time I started was my loft. So I'm just an average guy trying to figure out how to build my dream layout in my house in the space that I have. And so welcome and joining me for my journey. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the subscribe button and then maybe hit the bell icon. I'll be having some new episodes coming out shortly. So for those of you who have been on the channel, you're probably wondering what my progress is. Well, let's go take a look. Okay everybody, so now you can see the loft is kind of a cramped space. If you haven't been up here before, this is your first time, it's a little bit cramped. So I'm going to be moving all this stuff down to the basement. And what I've done so far is going to be completely redone. Why? Well, that has to do with that box that's in my mailbox. Did I say anything about my mailbox? But there's a reason I've got a box in my mailbox that I ordered from a company up in Canada. And a lot of people probably wouldn't do this, but me being the glutton for punishment that I am, it really interested me in doing it, and so I thought I'd give it a try. So this is the loft. As you can see, I have actually made no progress whatsoever. Now, I do see an issue coming up in the future that these tables, so since I moved these tables up here, they only could be a certain height, but now all of a sudden I'm going to be moving them to the basement, and I've already cut the legs off. So I can order new legs, but I actually may keep it this height because I might have a second layer above it. So this will be the layer that sits on the ground, and then 12 inches above it have a second shelf. So anyway, let's continue on. The good news is that my stepdaughter, got a boyfriend and she got married. Yay! So she no longer lives here. She only lives here part-time for the summer for some kids' visitation, things like that. But at the end of the summer, all this is going to be gone. So this is really good for me because even though the loft is kind of a cool space, it's difficult to work in, okay? I don't have running water. I don't have the stuff I want to really work up there. It's kind of a pain. I got to go up these stairs. You've seen the stairs. It's air conditioned, which is fine, but it's just not overall good situation. So part of the reason why I've made absolutely no progress on the layout is because of this fact that I knew that she was going to be moving out. And so I wanted to be able to put the train layout down here in the basement. Now, will I remain the Lofty NScaler? Well, yeah, I'm going to remain the Lofty NScaler because I've got lofty ideas that I probably are overzealous by nature, but still, I still have goals and ambitions that I can do with this. So I will still be the Lofty NScaler. I will still have those lofty ideas. Now, the question is, when will I actually get down here and start working? Well, that's a good question. She's going to be moving her stuff out at the end of the summer, so probably in September. So what am I going to do in the meantime? Well, I've sort of changed tact and changed course with my layout and ordered some things, which we are going to look at right now. I know it's up in the mailbox right now, so let's go to the mailbox and see what the United States Postal Service has brought me. Okay, everybody, so the box is inside. Let's see what's in it. It's kind of like an unboxing, but not an unboxing. So it's a bunch of different stuff. So don't get your hopes up that it's going to be like this, you know. Well, I mean, for me, cool stuff is like a new camera or something like that. But this is just as cool, I think. And my dog is chasing the cat. So maybe you guys are familiar with the company. Hello, Twitch. That's Mr. Twitch. That's who was being chased just a second ago. The company's called Fast Tracks. And if you're unfamiliar with Fast Tracks, you can just Google them on the web. And basically they make stuff for hand-laid track. So you can make your own switches and track and things like that. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I got all kinds of things here. Bubble wrap. I have NScaler turnout ties. Those are like itty bitty for NScaler. Let's see. I have a DVD for how to actually do it. They also have a collection of videos online on YouTube. Just Google Fast Tracks online. Then I bought, these are the actual number 6 turnouts. These are the actual laser cut ties. So after you build your tracks, you can just glue them to these and then pop off the sides, and then all your ties are in place. And I bought some of those to see how it goes, but then that's why I also bought some of these regular ties to see how hard it is just to do the same thing. I have a funny feeling that this is going to be the easy breezy way to go if I really want to. And then I also got some stuff for, that's Pepper. Number 4, hey Pebby, come here. Give me the squeaky ball. So number 4 turnouts. So I have number 6 and number 4. Number 4 is going to be for the industrial sidings. So I got a bunch of these things. These are the actual strips that you solder the rail to. I went ahead and bought a bunch of tools that I need. Now, I mean, I already have track cutters and things like that, but I went ahead and got the stuff that they recommended that I get for tools. So I got a big bag of that stuff. It's like Christmas things. I got an extra brush. I had a brush, but I got an extra one. Fast Tracks solder. This is just normal solder. I went ahead and bought it from them just because it's what they use. So everything that I'm going to be doing is going to be code 55 for NScale. And now my dog has a toy that she's shaking. And then Mr. Twitch back here is talking. He wants to build NScale trains too. Micro engineering, code 55, non-weathered rails, single pieces. So need those to build turnouts. This is Fast Tracks tiebreaker. So I got to put that together, looks like. I got some flux. I already have flux, but I thought I'd go ahead and get what they recommend. This is the cement that you use to glue the finished switch to the actual tie plates. And then what you really need that has to be made, that they custom make, and so nothing's really in stock with them except for this stuff, except for the rails and cement and things like that. The templates that you need to build the switches, they have to make. So I assume that they're CNC, and so that's what these are. And I don't know if you can see these or not. I'll try to. So that's for the number 6 switch. Very cool. And then the pièce de résistance. I think Mr. Twitch is hungry. And he's always hungry. This is for the number 4 switch. So much shorter, smaller for the industrial spurs. And that's what I'm starting with off. I'm just starting off with switches first, and then I'm going to buy micro engineering flex track for everything in between, code 55, so they'll match up with the rail and all that. So I can't think of anything else that's in here that's some goodies. Not quite sure what this is. It's heavy. Can't remember what I got. I got everything. Oh, yes. So this is so you can build your stockades for the inside rails. So your parts of the switch, and then it gives you a. Why do I have 2 of them? That's a good question. Maybe I ordered 2. Maybe there's different size for number 4 switch as opposed to number 6 switch. These suckers are heavy, but you use it. You put the rail in it, then you file it down, and then you get this nice groove. I'll go over all this stuff when I start building it. It's probably for. Oh yeah, so it's basically to make your frogs. This is for the number 6 switch, and the other one is for a number 4 switch. Yeah, that's what that's for. So I have everything. That's what all this is going to be, and I figure from now to the time my daughter actually moves out, I'm just going to start building switches. And the initial expense on hand-laid rail, I spent quite a bit of money on this stuff. But after the initial cost of doing it, your cost per switch actually goes down. So instead of paying $20 for an Atlas Code 55 switch, which is really, really delicate and lightweight, I can build my own switches and wire them the way that I want to and not have to mess with them. Pardon me. But that's the theory. You could spend even more. I mean, I could spend all kinds of money on this stuff. I could spend money because they make straight. You can make straight sections of track, and you can also make curved sections of track. and they have about every single curve you can imagine. And then you've got mainline tie spacing, you've got secondary, and then your branch lines. So, and the railroad ties are spaced differently on each one of those. So you could have all kinds of templates to create different tracks. The switches, though, are primarily the most expensive and the most tedious to make. I figure I should be able to get away with microengineering flex track for the rest of it. At least that's the theory. And Mr. Twitch, he's going to help out. And so in my work area, which I showed in a previous episode, I'm going to actually have a 4-foot piece of plywood that's 2 feet wide, and then I'm going to start putting everything together there. So it's the original idea I had when building it. I'm going to build a unit. It's going to be completely scenic and landscaped and wired up, and all I have to do is plug it in. That's the theory. So wish me luck on that. Now, the only other thing I got to do is get organized in my area. It's a bit of a mess right now. Mr. Twitch thinks it's a mess, and we'll have to get all that straightened up. But I've got it wired up for cameras, so when I actually start putting this switches together, you'll be along for the ride if you choose to accept that assignment. But wish me luck. So that's the idea. It's going to be, I'm going to go for a realistic look to it. I might as well, have fun with it. This stuff just sort of interests me anyway. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think that I would be having fun doing it or it would be interesting to do. So I'm interested in all levels of the build. So whether it's modeling, detailing, all that good stuff, I've got all the toys to do it. So it's just a matter of actually sitting down and doing it. And I'll build a switch at a time and now I got to order some flex track I'm considering each unit sort of like its own diorama. So stay tuned. Thank you for coming along. That's what the box was. It was a fast tracks from handlaidtrack.com. I think this is a website. Check them out. I am not being paid by them. I am not being sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. I used my hard-earned school bus driving money to purchase this stuff. Do not tell Mrs. NScaler. She has no idea. So she's out of town right now. Bonus. So that being said, come back and visit us next time for another episode of the Lofty NScaler. We'll see you soon.